For today's webinar, the main topic is about holiday prep. As we all know, the Q4 is right around the corner here. And there's some early planning we can do right now in September and also in October, obviously. So some of the, I guess, information I'll be sharing is for the toys and game industry, but a lot of the strategy will apply. It doesn't matter what category you're in. I think a lot of the digital marketing principle will apply to all different categories, not just for toys and games category as well. So again, today's goal is to talk about how can you prepare for the upcoming holiday season for the most competitive quarter of the years, especially for the toys and game category, which is, I will share some stats, which is you'll see how the toys and games is very seasonal. So a lot of our sales is happening in the last 2 months of the years. So you definitely need to have a clear roadmap, practical strategy, and also action step that you need to take in order to really have a successful Q4. And today's agenda will talk about some additional planning you can do, what kind of research you can do right now, and also some multi-channel marketing strategy you can consider to implement this across either Amazon and also off Amazon, including social medias, ads, and emails. And also some operation and logistic prep that you should consider to do right now before the peak, like holiday season happen. And also some action plan and I'll also share some key takeaway of the thing you can do to maximize your holiday success. So again, for those of you that's watching the replay that haven't see or attend one of our webinar before, my name is Jason Shea. I'm also a serial entrepreneur running several different businesses within the toys and game industry. I also own a toy company called Lucky Kid, where we design sensory toys, fidget toys, and weighted toys for kids on the autism spectrum, ADHD, and other special needs. And I also run a small digital marketing company called Toy Launch, where we specialize in doing digital marketing for other toys and game brands. And there's also a foundation around called Sensory Inclusive Classroom Foundation, which we donate some of our toys and games to local classrooms and local schools here in the Phoenix area. And also an organizer for the Phoenix Online Seller Group, which is a local meetup group I run on a monthly basis, which we actually meet in person once a month. So again, all of my work is really focusing on providing information, education, and to empower, support, educate entrepreneurs in the e-commerce space, especially within the toys and game industry. So where it all started for me, to make my long story super short, is I started because of my son. My son was diagnosed back in 2013 with autism ADHD while we were living in Japan back then. We couldn't find enough help and support in Japan, so we decided to move to the United States in 2015, but only to find out medical insurance is a huge mess in the US. So I decided to start my own toy company back then, around at the end of 2016. Then I started really taking off in 2017 part-time. And it took me about 6 years from 2016 to early 2022 to really scale the business. And I decided to go full-time in early 2022. So I've been doing this full-time for almost 4 years now. And with my current team, we have about 18 full-time employees, including myself. We are currently hiring 2 additional staff that's going to be joining our team. So we should be a 20 people company by the end of next month. So obviously the company is really growing, and also we're making a lot of changes. And I would love to share some of the things what our team is currently doing to prepare for the upcoming Q4 season for our own brand and also for some of our clients' brand. And currently we manage about 35 different brands, mostly within the toys and game categories, and over 100 different products that our team currently manage right now. So as far as the digital marketing principle, some of the principle not just apply for toys and game category, but across all the different categories, especially for Amazon marketing or other type of digital marketing. The first thing you also want to focusing on is going to be conversion optimization, to make sure your page is fully optimized and your store is also fully optimized if you're doing external marketing to your own website. So conversion optimization is going to be one of the main key before you start running any kind of marketing and start running any kind of ads. Second is profit optimization. Again, the profit is really the key. You really want to make sure you're keeping track of the profit and make sure your marketing campaign is actually profitable after all the different fee, after all the different advertising costs that's related to your effort. So that's also a very important step, especially as you're coming and getting ready for the Q4 holiday. a lot of things in Q4 will become more expensive during the last like 3 months of the year. So you also want to make sure you keep track of your profit margin, make sure you have enough margin to do all the additional digital marketing campaign that you want to do for the Q4 season. Then last but not least, there's a lot of ongoing optimization. You also want to make sure you get prepared and participate all the different things you want to do on daily, weekly, and monthly basis as far as getting into Q4 as well. So here's just some interesting fact about the toys and game industry as a whole. About 44% of the toys and game shopper actually research on Amazon, even if they are buying elsewhere. For example, I do this a lot. For example, if I'm shopping in Walmart or Target, a lot of the time I will actually find the product. I'll just scan the barcode on the product and try to look for reviews on Amazon before I make the actual purchase in the retail store as well. So that is like a consumer behavior that applies to all the different products, not just toys and games. Second is a lot of the toys and game product on Amazon are 3 times more likely to be gifts instead of buying it for their own families. And also 70% of all toys and game sales happen in Q4. That's why Q4 is such a big season, especially for the toys and game category. But that's also, I think, almost all categories, unless you are selling like a very seasonal summer product, that's an exception. But almost 90% of the category, actually you'll see an increase of either double, if not triple, of your sales in the Q4 season. That's why getting ready for Q4 is so important. Doesn't matter what category you're selling in. Then last but not least, another fun fact, last year in one of the Prime event, in a single 48-hour period, Amazon was able to sell over 8 million different products in the 48-hour period. That just show you the power of Amazon and how much like volume they're doing right now. So that's some of the fun fact I would like to share as we're getting ready for the upcoming holiday season here. So first of all, why is early planning matter? Is to secure visibility early and really avoid some of the potential rising costs. As we all know, for those of you that have been selling on Amazon or other marketplaces over the years, Q4 everything become more expensive. For example, for Amazon, the storage fee increase, the selling fee increase, and also even the fulfillment costs all increase during the Q4 season. So that means if you're not planning carefully, you might be actually losing money at the end of the day, even after the holiday season, if you're not looking at all the additional costs and also trying to make sure you're planning correctly and try to build momentum early enough. So you don't want to like launch and do a lot of marketing campaign in December because that's too late. You should be start planning on that right now as we're speaking. So you have some campaign that's coming and you have some marketing campaign that you are already planning or decide to do for the upcoming Q4 season. Next, holiday consumer insight. Again, it depends on the product. Either you're within the toys and game categories or you are not within the toys and game category. There's different trend that you can also monitor. And based on maybe look at some of the historical data, if you have been selling on the platform or different platform for a few years, how was your sales look like last October, last November, last December? When does the thing start peaking for you last year? And look at those trends. And by looking at those trends, you can really make some data-driven decision on, okay, based on my trend last year, November, this just seems really starting to kick off. So I should get some campaign ready before the peak season happens. So looking at some of your historical consumer insight that you have gathered over the years for your business, this is a very good time to start looking at that right now. So as we're getting into the holiday season, you know exactly what is your marketing plan. It's going to look like almost like on a weekly basis. Okay, on this week, I'm going to do this. On the week of Cyber Monday, Black Friday, I should be doing this. On the week after the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I should be doing another different campaign. So that's all. This right now is a really good time to start planning for all those digital marketing campaigns for the Q4. Next, for Amazon, Amazon is also seasonal keywords. We all know Amazon is a search engine. So you also want to take a look at your product listing right now to see if you want to update it for the upcoming season. I see a lot of sellers that's selling on Amazon would like to do some seasonal changes. Some easy changes is you can put a ribbon into one of the images and make your product more giftable. That strategy we have tried in the past and it didn't work. And there's also a different way you can include or update your listing to include some seasonal keyword like Christmas gift or holiday gift, or that's like different keyword that's very seasonal. You can also try to consider to incorporate that into your existing product detail page. And if you want, or if you have the resources to do, I will also like recommend for you to update your A+ content. So A+ content is the additional content you can also showcase for your particular product inside your product detail page. You can also create a holiday version of your A+ content as well. So that's a lot of different strategy you can do as far as Amazon optimization for the upcoming Q4 holidays. Next, for social media marketing, again, social media, that's for Q4, there's a lot of activity, especially for the upcoming holiday season. For example, it depends on the product as well. Some product might be more relevant for Halloween. For example, we have a client that's actually sell Halloween puzzle. So Halloween is like a big holiday or big season for them. So we need to start getting some of the campaign ready for social media. Oh, let's do some Halloween campaign. Or if your product is not as Halloween centric, the other very easy campaign you can also consider to do is to do a holiday giveaway campaign. And this is a campaign we like to do almost every single year. Is the way we do it is we partner with either influencer or we partner with other brands and say, let's get together 5 to 10 different brands together, and we're all going to do a joint giveaway together. So the way it works is we'll just have each brand pitch in $500 or $1,000. Then we'll put all this marketing fund together. Then we'll run a giant giveaway campaign together, running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and drive all the traffic to a landing page with this giveaway. So we usually will get a couple thousand people opting in to the giveaway. Then at the end of the campaign, we'll share the email list or the participation list with every single brand that participated. So it's going to be a win-win. It's a win for us, win for other brand we partner with, and also it's a win for the holiday because we get a lot of momentum as far as like getting exposure and getting some eyeball to our product for the upcoming holiday. And this is another strategy you can consider implementing for your own brand for the holiday as well. And obviously, there's also Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales you can also try to do. So there's a lot of different kind of type of marketing you can try or think about. You can also try to think of what kind of holiday themes what might make sense for the product you're selling online. So those are some of the strategy you can consider. Next, there's also email and SMS marketing campaign. If you're not emailing your email list, you should be emailing them at least once a month minimum. Because if you're not doing that, and all the stuff during the holiday season, you email them, it's awkward because you never email them throughout the entire year. So again, email marketing and even also SMS marketing is about consistency. So you want to make sure you're emailing your list on a regular basis, and especially during the holidays, you also want to create some dedicated holiday campaigns. You can share, like, for example, holiday gift guide. You can actually write a blog post about potential gift ideas for the holiday that might be relevant for your product as a soft sell. And you can also create dedicated campaign, like tied to the giveaway example I gave you earlier. You can also make that into an email campaign, talk about, please sign up for our upcoming giveaway. So that's another very easy way for you to re-engage with your existing list. And also, if you don't have a SMS list, this is also a good time to use your SMS list. SMS list just means you have a list of people's phone number, so you can do text-based marketing as well. Again, email marketing, the open rate is about 20%, whereas SMS marketing, the open rate is up to 90% or higher. So you want to do a combination of both. You can do some email marketing, some SMS marketing. And for those of you that's participating live in today's webinar, please put it into the chat. Are you already thinking about a holiday marketing campaign? Just give me a yes or no in the chat so I know how many of you are already planning on doing the holiday marketing campaign. So they give me some context as well. Thank you so much. If you can just put some information into the chat in the webinar today. So let me know, have you think about what kind of campaign you want to do for the upcoming holiday? Just give me a yes or no, and that'll really help me out. And next is, beside the email marketing, there's also pay advertising strategy you can consider. I know a lot of you that's watching the webinar we are all selling on Amazon as well. But besides Amazon, there's also a lot of other platforms that we can run ads on, including Facebook, Instagram, there's TikTok, there's YouTube, there's Google. That's for the upcoming holiday. You also want to consider what is going to be your pay ad strategy. What is the channel that you want to focusing on? Make sure you have a few different channels that you're thinking of, and also get that set up in place if you haven't already. And also make sure you are setting up retargeting campaign to target some of the audience that you're already showing ads to. And you can also like create lookalike audiences, and each platform will look a little bit different, depends on the strategy. But this is also a really good time to start thinking and planning ahead. What are some of the advertising strategy and plan that you are going to do for the upcoming Q4 season? Next, here are some like very specific example of what is our team is actually going to do for the upcoming season. So I see Mark is saying that we always run campaign for the holiday, especially during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Yeah, great. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mark. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday is a huge season. Usually that's like the official start of the Q4 season almost. So as far as advertising recommendation, a lot of the strategy or step here, this is related to Amazon, since we do a lot of Amazon marketing on our clients' behalf. So for Amazon purposes, in October, this is where you want to spend a lot of time trying to explore many different type of keywords, try to run a lot of discovery type of campaigns. So especially during October or even right now, to see if you can identify any additional keyword that's both relevant and also converting for the product you're selling. Then in early November, you can start increasing some of your budget. You can reallocate the budget toward the target that have more than 2 orders. And also you want to find and try to go after like very specific keywords. For example, in the toys and game category, there's a lot of keyword that's holiday related. Gift for kids age 8 to 12, for example. That's like a long-term keyword example. So you can find some of those keywords that's relevant to your product that you're selling and try to be a little bit more aggressive on, at least start testing on some of those gift related keywords, especially for the holiday season. And during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday week, you can also double down by increasing some of the bids and increasing some of the campaign on the proven keyword or search term that has been working for your brand historically. And also you want to hold some of the budget especially for the top of search exact campaign. I know this is very specific. This is like very specific strategy you can do right now for the Black Friday Cyber Monday season to really make sure you allocate some budget for those top keywords that you're really trying to get more exposure of. And during that there's also a Cyber Week, which is a week after the Cyber Monday weekend. You can reduce a bit slightly, but you still can be aggressive because there's still quite a bit of traffic of people searching and start buying for stuff for the upcoming Christmas as well. So you can also start doing some optimization during that period. Then after the Cyber Week, that's where a lot of people will still continue to buy. So during that time, you can be a little bit less aggressive. As you can see in my slide here, during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you should be very hyper aggressive with like almost 200 and 300% of your compared to your typical bid. Then during the Cyber Week, you can dial it down a little bit. Then during the early December, you can dial it down even a little bit more to 120 to between 120 to 150% as far as your typical bid. And you can also try to start running more video ads, especially during the Q4 season, because a lot of people is looking for a gift idea as well. So video ads is a great way to showcase your product, especially in front of some of those gift shoppers that are trying to find innovative gifts. Those are some of the potential strategy that you can do during from October to December. Then also there's a few guide rail that you also want to make sure you implement. Make sure you are finding some of the exact winner for the search term that is working, and only reduce the exact winner if the performance for those campaigns is stable. Then you can reduce a bit if the ACoS is too high above the target. But usually you want to really double down on the exact match as far as campaign goes. And on the phrase match, broad match, and auto match, make sure you continue adding negation, like adding keyword that's not converting, and also lowering the bid when there's too many clicks and no orders. So again, this is very specific for Amazon strategy. And also for brand defense campaign, you also want to make sure you are allocating at least 10% of your daily budget, especially during the holiday season, to also have the brand defense campaign running at all time. What I mean by brand defense campaign is you should be having a campaign that's also running and targeting your own branded terms or your own branded product. So because your competitor will be targeting you as well during this time. So you want to make sure you always have a certain amount of budget. You ideally at least 10% of your advertising budget delegated to the brand defense campaign as well. Next, you also want to double check for campaign structure hygiene. Make sure you have all the different campaign types set up properly. For example, I mentioned the brand defense. That's also, you should have exact match campaign that's running as well. And you should also have phrase campaign for additional expansion. And then you can also turn on broad and auto campaign for additional keyword harvesting to see if you can identify additional keywords, search term, or additional product to target. And also you can try category targeting to try to refine inside the category to see. You can also do multi-layer in the category targeting. You can say, I want to target product inside this category that's within a certain price point, for example, $15 to $20 or $15 to $30. And also with a certain review threshold, I only want to target product with like less than a 4-star rating, for example. That's like different like advanced optimization or advanced layers that you can also set in the category targeting to see what is going to work. And then it's also a good time to start like really trying to go after some of the competitors, especially some competitors that have a lot of traffic already. You can also try to target some of the competitors' ASIN and see if you can get more result from the competitors' ASIN as well. Then you also want to make sure you double check the placement. And if you have the tool and have the resource to do day parting, I will also highly suggest to start doing day parting during the holiday season if you are not doing it already. So for those of you that haven't tried day parting before, day parting is a unique concept when it comes to digital marketing, especially for Amazon, it just means on an hourly basis, you can change the bid. For example, from Monday, 7 to 10 a.m., I want to be more aggressive based on my historical data, because those are the time we tend to convert more. Just to give you an example, then you can change the bid. Usually you want to use a third-party software to do this because you'll be changing the bid on every single campaign on the hourly basis. So that means you need to change the bid 24 times in a day in order for day parting to really work. Usually I'll recommend to have a third-party software that sync with the Amazon platform so you can do day parting efficiently. Then also the other thing to consider is you can start playing around, if you haven't already, is to really play around with the top of search modifier to see if your ad can show up more in the top of search by being a little bit more aggressive on the top of search modifier, and you can increase the bid using the top of search modifier as well. So those are some of the strategy you can also consider to implement during the upcoming Q4 season. Next, this is more advanced. This is for people that is currently running DSP on Amazon, which have a minimum ads threshold. As you need to spend like at least $10,000 for it to make sense as far as ad budget goes. But if you are not running DSP, you can also use a sponsored display, which is a similar version to DSP. DSP have a little bit more a lot more function compared to sponsored display, but there's a lot of similarity as far as you can use it to retarget your potential customer as well. The typical use case is you can use sponsored display to retarget people that have viewed your page or have buy some of the product from you. It's called view remarketing or purchase remarketing. Again, it depends on the product. If you're in like supplement or some kind of recurring product, you can do a purchase remarketing and say, I want to target people that have bought my product like 30 days ago, because they might run out. They might need another bottle, another thing they need on a monthly basis. So that's where you can try to use purchase remarketing. For other category that is not on the subscription base, you can just do review remarketing. Means people have viewed the product but didn't make the purchase yet. Then you can have different look back window and say, I want to do a remarketing campaign for everyone that have viewed my product in the last 14 days, in the last 30 days, or in the last 90 days. There's different look back window you can experiment with and see which one will work the best. So that's another strategy you can also implement during the holiday season to retarget some of the buyers that have been looking at your product detail page, but didn't make the buying decision just yet. And one more thing that's very important during the holiday season is make sure you're monitoring your campaign on a daily basis, especially during the holiday season, because sometimes the ad spend can go really crazy during the holiday season because there's just a lot more traffic that is going into Amazon during the last couple months. So you want to make sure you monitor the budget so you don't overspend all of a sudden. And also, as far as optimization goes, our suggestion is consider doing optimization 3 times a week. So you can do optimization by harvesting some of the winner keywords and also remove some of the bleeder or the keyword that's not working, and also continue adding negations and also move winners from auto campaign into exact campaign. Usually you want to do it 3 times a week because during the last couple months, the traffic increased. So that's a lot more data you can look at. So you want to do the optimization a little bit more frequently during the last couple months of the year as well. And obviously on a weekly basis, you also want to track your keyword ranking movement to see where are you at on the keyword ranking, to see if there's any improvement, any optimization you should be also doing based on the keyword data that you are seeing on your account. So I spent a lot of time talking about Amazon specific strategy that you can do for the holiday season. The other thing you can also consider, I think some of you that's watching or attending the webinar or watching the replays already doing, is doing influencer and PR outreaches. Especially during the holiday season, because you can have influencer to review the product. You can also partner with micro influencer and also start like leveraging some of the social medias and try to get more people's attention about, oh, this is a great product for the holiday, for the Christmas. So if you haven't done influencer marketing, this is a good time to start looking into it, especially for the upcoming holiday season as well. Usually our recommendation is we like to work with micro influencer, which is our preference. Means we're working with smaller influencers that have a few $1,000s instead of 100,000, because usually the bigger influencer, they'll be asking for you to pay them $2,000, $3,000. Based on our experience, usually that's not worth the investment. We like to work with smaller influencers. So they usually will receive the product for free and they will just create the video or create the content. Then in return, if they can generate any sales, we'll create like an affiliate link for them. So they'll just get paid on commission based on the sale they can generate it from their social media effort. Based on our experience, usually there's a better return on investment for that kind of marketing instead of working with bigger influencers where you need to pay them $2,000 or $3,000 per post. And that doesn't always work out as well as you think. So definitely experiment with the influencer and see which one you want to work with. But the hardest part when it comes to influencer outreach is managing all the influencers. I always like to give an example. It's like almost like herding cat. It's really hard to get the influencer to do what you want them to do. So it's very important for you to have a system to monitor where either you can use a spreadsheet. For us, we use a software called Toy Marketing Hub, which is our in-house software that we can keep track of all the stages of the influencer. Did they agree to do the content? Do we send them the product yet? Did they receive the product yet? Did they create the content yet? So you want to have a system in place, either a spreadsheet or using a software to keep track of the influencer on what stages they are on, because you'll be managing like 100 influencers at a time. And that's not an easy task. As a full-time job in itself, we have a full-time staff, but that's what she does, is to manage the influencer marketing campaign. So because it's a lot of work if you want to do it correctly, because you need to reach out to 100 influencers and maybe 10 of them respond. And out of the 10, maybe 3 of them actually do anything about it. So that's a lot. Influencer marketing, I'll say, is really a numbers game. You need to reach out to a lot of influencers because the influencer is also getting bombarded by the brand because all the brand want to work with influencers as well. So you want to have a systemized approach when you are doing influencer marketing to keep track of where's all the influencers you are reaching out to right now. What are the stages? And if they are not doing what they say they'll be doing, make sure you follow up with them in a timely basis. Oh, I think you the product 2 weeks ago. Where are you at? Do you receive the product? Is the product still sitting in your garage somewhere? Are you going to create a video for us? Those kind of follow-up is super important for the influencer marketing to really work. Otherwise, you'll be just sending out a lot of free product, but then the influencer doesn't do anything, just sitting in their garage. So very important for you to have a systemized approach to do influencer marketing correctly and also really see the outcome. Next is inventory and logistic planning, because Amazon is also have a few different cutoff date. For Amazon purposes, you want to make sure you ship in more product ahead of the times. Usually we'll suggest our client to ship in at least 90 days of inventory on hand minimum. Again, it depends on the product. Sometimes you need to ship in more. So this is where if you have historical sales data, it will come very handy. How much unit did you sell last year in Q4? Make sure you ship in that amount and a little bit more just for the safety net. So then the time to start shipping in inventory is right now, because right now I believe the Amazon warehouse is still not super crowded. But when you come to November, December, there's so much backlog in their warehouse. Sometimes they don't even receive the product at all because their warehouse is have so much inventory. Everyone try to ship in product for Q4 and they have so much backlog. So the earlier you can stop shipping in additional inventory for the Q4, the better. The best time is right now. If you haven't done it already, if you haven't shipping additional inventory for Q4, you should be doing it right now. So make sure you also double check your inventory, make sure you have enough for the upcoming season so you don't sold out of stock. Sold out of stock is one of the worst things that could happen to you if you're selling on Amazon, especially during the Q4, because you'll be losing a lot of the potential revenue that you should be getting if you didn't sell out of stock. So make sure you monitor the sales velocity and also start sending in those additional inventory right now if you haven't shipped in already. Next is pricing and promotion. So obviously the holiday season, there's a lot of different sales events. There's Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there's Christmas sale. There's actually Amazon Prime Big Day, which is another new sales event they just came up with as happening next month. So there's a lot of different events that you can also do. And you can also combine some of those events with some of your social media marketing effort. And a lot of the company that we work with will do, Mark was showing earlier, like you will do a campaign for a holiday, especially during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday season. What you want to do is make sure you have a coordinated campaign. So you want to send out emails, send out social media, send out SMS, run ads all around the same time. So you want to make sure you have a coordinated effort. So your holiday seasons will have a campaign that kind of feed into each other, because you can have an email, then you can have a social media post that also go out, and you can also have an ads that's also targeting the potential buyer all at the same time. So make sure you're also monitoring the price. Make sure, because Amazon is also changing their price right now for the Q4 season. I think they are doing another increase on October 15th for their FBA fee. So make sure you're double checking the fee to make sure, do you have enough margin to do a discount? So make sure during the holiday, you want to make sure you want to discount the product, but you don't want to discount the product so much that you're actually losing money. So make sure you do the calculation and make sure you have enough margin for the product that you want to do discount with. And especially this year in 2025, I know with a tariff situation, a lot of us is seeing a lot of pressure from increase in our cost of goods sold, myself included with my own toy brand. Because of the tariff situation, we actually need to decide on discontinue a few products that doesn't have a very high margin before the tariff. And now with the tariff, there's almost no margin left. So we actually decided to discontinue some of our product in our product line. So make sure you review all your margin right now as well. That's a very important exercise to do currently. Next is coming up with some creative holiday campaign. Like I mentioned earlier, you can do a creative giveaway, that you can do a joint giveaway with a whole bunch of different brands, or you can run different holiday storytelling with any kind of seasonal branding campaign. One more campaign we have done in the past, I can also share that as an example. We did a countdown to Christmas giveaway campaign in the past. So every single day for the 10 days counting down to Christmas, we're giving away one item every single day. Then we're putting out social media posts every single day. We're sending out email every single day because it's a countdown campaign. So that's it's like a fun campaign. It's for people to engage. And you'll see a lot of common engagement and say, oh, I would love to win one of those. How can I sign up? Then you can drive them to a landing page for them to sign up. Then you can collect their information so you can communicate with them after the fact. So there's a lot of different ways you can create some holiday campaign. And here, just some example I just shared. You can do a co-branded giveaway. You can do a countdown to Christmas giveaway as well. Or other idea that's brand, you can also come up with other marketing campaign for the holiday season. Next is for customer experience. Obviously, holidays, you want to make sure people receive the product in time. So if you're already using Amazon, it shouldn't have issues But if you're selling on your own store, make sure you offer fast shipping and also provide gift options and for them to keep just really enhance your customer experience during the holiday season. And also, this is a good time to really collect a lot of the post-purchase review because you'll see a lot more orders during the holiday season as well. So also make sure you are taking care of your customers during the upcoming Q4 season is very important as well. Next, after the holiday, you also want to look back. I know we have like it's ahead, but you also want to think ahead. What are you going to do after the holiday season? For example, in January, what are some of the campaigns you can still do after the January or after the holiday season? Maybe you have some leftover where you have a overstock situation, hopefully not, but you can also consider doing syncing some of the post-holiday strategy that you can also do. Either try to gather some additional customer feedback and also repurpose some of the content you're getting from the holiday, like from the holiday campaign you're doing. For example, if you're doing giveaway campaign, you also want to make sure the people that win the prize take a picture of the prize they receive. So you can also use that and repurpose that in your perpetual marketing effort as well. And you can also retarget some of the holiday shoppers on your ongoing marketing effort. So you can already start thinking ahead, not just for your holiday strategy specifically, but also for your post-holiday strategy ahead of time. So you know exactly what you'll be doing in January of 2026, right after the holiday ended. Next is make sure all your tracking is in place. Obviously, if you're selling on Shopify or your own website, there's a Google Analytics you can set up if you haven't set up already. Make sure you're tracking all the different data. How many visitors, how many website traffic are you getting? What is your conversion rate? What is your click-through rate? And make sure you're monitoring that throughout the holiday season. And of course, on Amazon, there's also a lot of data you can monitor. You can look at the ACOS, you can look at your tacos, look at all the different metrics and look at the benchmark to make sure you are actually pacing correctly as we're heading into the season. Are you ramping up correctly? Are you getting more indexing for the keywords before the holiday season? Because it's a lot harder to rank an index for the keyword that you want to rank for during the December, obviously. You want to start doing that right now as you are getting ready for the holiday season to pick up. If you are not ranking for a certain keyword, it's time to start being a little bit more aggressive on some of your advertising strategy to see if you can get ranked for some of the hero keyword. That's going to be very important for your product. So that will be a really good time to start doing all that kind of effort, currently like right now in September and October. And also make sure you're monitoring some of your competition on the weekly basis to see what kind of advertising are they doing as your competitor do. Are they lowering their price? Are they doing a holiday giveaway? Look at their social, you can keep track of their social media. You can keep track of their Amazon store and just also try to keep track of their pricing as well. Are they lowering the price right now for the upcoming season? What are they doing? So it's very important to also have a competitor monitoring system in place. So you're looking at some of your core competitor and see what kind of marketing strategy they are doing. So you can also adapt quickly if you notice, every single other competitor just drop their price by $5. I'm the only one that still at the same price. Then maybe that's the time for you to consider that maybe I should also reduce my price just slightly so I can stay competitive during the core holiday or the core season. So make sure you are also, if you don't have a competition tracking setup, make sure you also have that set up for the upcoming season as well. Next is you want to understand some of the key holiday day. Obviously, we talk about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but there's also December. And there's also a lot of deadline if you're selling on Amazon. Amazon have different warehouse deadline. Each year is a little bit different. So double check with the Amazon website to see what is their cutout date for inventory. Each year, they have a cutout date. If your inventory arrive after that certain day, then none of your product will be available for Christmas. So make sure you check that day. I believe this year is December 1st, but double check on Amazon's website in case that changes. But make sure that means your product needs to arrive at the Amazon FBA warehouse before the cutoff date if you want a chance to sell for people to receive it for Christmas. So that's a few different deadlines you want to make sure you know ahead of time before the Q4 season even begin, so you don't miss any of those major deadlines for the holiday. And also for Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there's also some deadline if you want to run Amazon Prime deals, for example, that you also want to submit some of your deal ahead of time as well before the deadline. So make sure you just double check all the holiday deadlines to make sure you can meet all the requirements. Then also continue building brand loyalty beyond Q4. That's also important to re-engage with your customers and also continue to offer content, continue to create blog posts. If you are not doing that already, continue to offer like value to the customer, really continue to build that community engagement is very important for the long-term success of your brand, even beyond the Q4 holiday season. Those are some of the things you should definitely consider as you are trying to make sure people can remember your brand and have a wonderful experience buying your product from your brand as well. So, and I already mentioned about a few holiday action plan roadmap, but ideally you do want to have a plan for September and October. Then you want to have a plan for early November before the Cyber Monday, Black Friday holiday. Then you also want to have an action plan for the Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Cyber Monday week. And then there's also a different plan you can do for December as well, and also post holiday. Yeah, so those are some of the things you want to consider right now. I'm just going to open for some Q&A. If you have any questions, any strategy that you are thinking about doing that you would like to share, feel free to unmute yourself and share as we have a conversation. Bill, do you have any campaign that you are planning or you are thinking about doing for the upcoming Q4?
Having switched vendors, we are currently redoing our campaigns, but I can tell you that the expense structure is of a concern right now. We offer volume sales, and if you do it wrong, FBA charges for each product. So when I sell a case of something, they charge an FBA fee for every single one, even though I've got a huge discount on it. So it becomes unprofitable.
Yeah. You may want to make sure you calculate your margin correctly as well.
Yeah, I've got questions for you offline there, but.
Okay. Are you doing any external marketing for the upcoming holiday as well?
Right now, I am 100% focused. The other question, I was trying to figure out how to put that in there, is I am looking to do influencers. You mentioned you have an internal tool.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out a management tool to not only manage the process, but find them as well. And
there's so many different tools right now available online if you want to use the software. The way we do it, since we have an internal tool, we just use an internal tool to keep track. But that is like a full-time job in itself if you want to do it correctly. It's very time-consuming because, like I mentioned earlier, you need to reach out to 100 and hopefully 10 will respond. But that's many different way for you to find them. So you can use hashtag. If you don't want to use the software, just search for the most popular hashtag in your space. So,
has anybody had any success with the Amazon influencer tool?
Oh yeah, we have some mixed results. It depends on the product. So Amazon's influencer tool is called Amazon Creator Connections. So the way it works, you create a campaign inside the Amazon tool. Then the influencer will apply and say, oh, I would like to join. Then you communicate with them inside Amazon, and you still need to get their shipping information and all that in order to ship a sample to them. So it's still pretty time consuming, but Amazon does make it just a little bit easier. So
I haven't been back lately, but what I was running into is hidden responses. It was really difficult to find where the responses went to. They don't alert anywhere.
Okay. Yes, that's the problem with their platform. You need to log into Amazon Creator Connection. On the bottom right, there's like a messages that's really hidden. You need to extend that and actually click on every single one to see, because there's no other place you will see that. They don't even send you an email. They don't send you any notification. You have to log into that specific place, and you can only see that message in that specific window. So Amazon doesn't make it easy to communicate with the influencer.
Yeah, and they strip addresses when they're provided. So I haven't figured out the workaround to that.
Oh, the way we do it is we give them a link to opt-in form. and say, okay, if you want to participate, go to this website, fill out a form. Then in the form, we ask them for their first name, last name, emails, addresses, even phone numbers, so we can ship them a free product. And then that form is tied to our software, and we keep track of all the pipelines. Okay, did they submit the form? Are we approving this free sample? Are we declining for the free sample? Because we'll be also looking at their social media profile to see if it's a good fit before we ship in a free sample as well. Then once it's shipped, we'll update the status, say product shipped. Then if it's received, we have another status, say it's received. And the final status is, did they submit the content, yes or no? So we have a pipeline that we're monitoring, have a couple hundred influencers in the pipeline to monitor where they are at. So
connected to that question is affiliate marketing. I would assume that these influencers are going to want to have affiliate marketing. And I know that Amazon has its own affiliate marketing.
Yes. So the way you work, if you use Amazon Creator Connection, that is already baked into the system as part of the campaign. So when you create a campaign, Amazon will already ask you, how much commission do you want to give the influencer if they make a sale? Usually our recommendation is keep the commission to 15% to 20%. That's the typical kind of industry standard. Usually we just give 20% for the influencer. Then if the influencer create the content and then people click on it, go to your page and buy, Amazon will deduct from your account and just pay them.
Okay. Yeah, it was unclear whether or not it would just work if I needed to sign up through the affiliate program, but I didn't.
You already have a seller program. You don't need to sign up for the affiliate program. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So something to try, something to definitely try. Again, we have mixed results. Some brand did really well, got a few thousand like revenue generated. Some doesn't go as well. So it depends on the product. So
another interesting cooperative thing that's come up for me, I'm not sure if it's the same in the toy industry, but I've got offers from various sellers in other areas like Australia or the UK that want to be a distributor for my products. Do you guys run into that, and have you had any success there?
I will be very careful about that approach. It depends on their business model, because if they are just reselling the product with no additional value add, are they actually going to be doing advertising for you on those platforms, or are they, what are they actually doing? That's something you want to make sure you evaluate before you commit to any kind of relationship with the distributor. So
they're looking for exclusivity, for example, in Australia for a particular SKU that I have, and they're willing to put in a certain amount of PPC. It's my listing. It would go up identical.
Okay. That sounds like a pretty good deal, actually. Most of the distributors actually don't run any PPC.
Yeah.
So, again, look at the deal that they are trying to offer. Look at their reputation. Have they done that successfully for other brands?
Okay.
You can consider, but again, just be careful because not everyone know what they're doing. So, yeah.
I don't want to dominate. I've got other questions. Is there anybody else that wants to jump in? Or
see, Mark have a comment. Let me read. So, Mark is saying that his social media marketing partner keep track of the influencer, but his affiliate marketing is managed by a separate team. Okay, very interesting. He's also saying influencers are losing their value despite of the strict guideline, documentation, and example. They often play the game wrong and misrepresent the product. Yeah, I can relate to that. We run into that issue on our end as well. So usually we'll send a creative guideline, but they still don't always follow the guideline. That's why we have team members trying to monitor all that. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mark.
Another area that I'm having difficulty figuring out is when I look at my Amazon sellers account and I go into the homepage, there is my United States store, but automatically there's also Mexico and Brazil. I'm uncertain how those got added there, how they would be priced if I sold, and I have sold some through there, what my FBA fees would be, and how I add Canada and other areas like that to the list.
It's
done?
called, I think Amazon now, they call it North America Unified Account. You automatically turn your product like on for other marketplaces. And Amazon, if you don't change it, Amazon is just going to auto convert your US price based on the current currency rate to other currency in other country. And the way it works is if they do buy, Amazon is going to ship from your US warehouse or your inventory from US to those destinations as well. And then the shopper usually need to pay some additional fee for exporting and all that.
Unfortunately for me, one of my FBA or FBM listings got stuck into that program. And
really? You do the FBM? Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I try not to do FBM, but I have a condition on each of my listings in case I run out through my weekly shippings. If I run out, then I can ship myself. But obviously, shipping to Brazil,
not going to be cost effective. No.
Yeah.
So just we turn it off. Go log into your Brazil Amazon account and just turn it off.
Yeah. Have you done anything with that? Do you sell anything through those markets? And do you have any way?
Yeah, we try, like Brazil doesn't really do much for us. Majority of our sales for all of our brands is mostly US and Canada.
So you got Canada turned on?
Yeah, some account have Canada turned on. And actually some account do really well in Canada, depending on the product. Yeah.
And how did you turn on Canada?
So there's two ways to do it. It depends on, are you going to have inventory physically there in Canada, which our client do. Our client have inventory in Canada and US, and they'll ship product to the Canada FBA warehouse as well. If you don't want to do that, then you can use they have a program where they'll just ship it to Canada from US, but then they'll charge the Canadian customer like a lot of additional fee. If you don't want to do that, then you don't really sell that much, because it is going to charge you like $20, $30 extra just to get the product.
Yeah. Now, I would prefer to ship product too, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And the customer help desk doesn't seem to understand how to do that either.
Yeah. If you want to do that, you need to find an international freight forwarder that can take your product like over the border and get into an Amazon Canada warehouse. So there's some company that specialize in doing that cross border.
So you really need a partner if you want to do any international and shipping.
Yeah, because Amazon unfortunately don't do that for you from US to Canada. They can do it from China to US, but not from US to Canada or vice versa.
Okay. Interested.
Yeah, but Canada, again, usually majority of the client we do, only a few client is actually very active on Canada. US is still a much bigger market than Canada, obviously, but a lot more competition. So Canada, if you want to get in, is a lot less competition. So
do you have a recommendation for a partner to work with to go to Canada?
I would say before you look into the partner, do some research first. You can use Helium 10 and look at your product and look at the search volume. And then look at some of the competition. How much are they currently selling before you even committed to go in? That would be the first step before you start even looking at partner. Because if everyone else is not selling that much, maybe it doesn't even make sense to get in. So I would start with the market and competition research first before you start looking into the partners. So
yeah, while we're the biggest market in the US with supplements, you're dealing more with the FDA and those rules. So there's a significant ease once you get out of the US to selling these products, and a lot bigger market for it, a lot more that you can actually say on the site itself about benefit.
Oh, yeah. I see Mark have done the comments. He's saying that they are keeping the US and Canada until they can scale large enough to afford a Shopify market, which will become the importer of record. Oh, I haven't heard that much about Shopify market. How does that work, Mark? How does Shopify market?
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting program, but it's like an app where it's an extra service on Shopify, and
Oh,
They then handle international because it's such a the basic thing is tax and getting caught in customs and things like that. But with this, they become the importer of records. So they take care of all those things. And then they charge the consumer accurately, which is also another problem. It's a great thing. It's it's fairly expensive. I think it's $3,000 a month. We're not quite to that level yet. And I don't think consumers get a great value importing it package by package either. I think it's at some point we'll want to have a warehouse in Europe and the UK, but it is very tricky to get past all their VAT taxes and their customs. And there's some for 2030, there's some different environmental packaging requirements that are going to be different than the US. So you have to think about your products a little differently in the future. Yeah, very complicated. I think it's just better when you're small to keep to the US.
yeah, I agree.
Mark, are you saying that you've actually tried to do that? Have you had to deal with the safety concerns in registering international freight to Canada or anywhere else?
No, I really haven't had to deal with any of that. Like I said, we just ship individually to consumers in Canada, which is not a terrible process right now. It is getting more complicated with a little bit of the trade war, but yeah, it's tricky. And there was a time last season when Canada shipping basically disappeared. They went on strike, and
Oh, yes.
and it was super expensive. So I got hammered on things that were being sent there because there was extra costs involved that I wasn't charging my consumer. So it's even that is pretty dicey. But now I think I've got it somewhat figured out for this holiday season. But yeah, I'm not really counting on Canada to be a big market. I just try to help people who really want to get the product.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And I think last time when I spoke with you, Mark, you're not selling on Amazon yet, right?
No, we don't sell on Amazon. The margins are pretty thin, and yeah, it's great exposure, and it may be a way for us to scale in the future, but I don't love it. And especially as we start selling to more retailers, it could be debilitating to our margin, our overall margin, and our pricing strategy, because it can be easily undermined by people buying wholesale and putting it on Amazon themselves. Just trying to keep that pretty tight at the moment.
Understood. What is your main marketing channel that's working for you? Is it Meta, Google?
Yeah, it's mostly Meta. Right now we've seen a big shift from Facebook to Instagram, which is interesting. I don't know if that's product related or platform related. And then I'm doing a little bit more. I've done a lot of organic search work, SEO stuff for Google, but I hired a guy just to rework my paid search settings, and that seems to be growing really well. It's a little bit, again, it's an investment, and it hurts the margins because I figure those in as marketing costs. But it's interesting. So I'm playing around a little bit with that and seeing some success. But I'm very careful. Everybody wants to get paid, of course, so for their expertise, and it is quite complicated to do it. I think, Jason, you probably have a better understanding of these platforms than I do, but I like to hire an expert. Let's say I don't really do the monthly retainer stuff as much, but I will hire a guy to say, update the website or work on the paid search and make sure I'm set up appropriately. And that seems to have big benefits for low cost.
Okay. That's an interesting way to do it. And you can test different platforms fairly affordable. Yeah. Okay.
One of the interesting opportunities that have popped up for me through Amazon is there is a ginormous number of businesses that are business customers that are using volume purchases of my product to stock their shelves.
Oh, okay.
But case rate, and it's they're not big enough to qualify for a full wholesale account, but they can buy it business rates, stock their shelves. And it seems to be a growing portion of my business from clinics, veterinarians, health stores,
Oh,
old mom and pop retail stores and grocery stores. They'll buy
I see.
a bunch of our product. Are you guys finding retailers reaching out, small ones, to stock their shelves with product, or is that unique to the supplements?
For sometimes for us, we'll get a lot of school. So school is our typical B2B or business buyer. So
Okay.
yeah, and for Amazon, you can set up a business pricing on the platform. Well,
Yeah, if you're not on Amazon, which I mean, it sounds like most people are here, but I've been using Fair this this year, and that's been a
yeah,
pretty nice experience connecting with retailers. They can find access to it from my website, and there's some great introductory deals if they sign up with Fair. And overall, the retailers get a lot of benefit from using it. It's a
I haven't
little
heard of Fair. What is Fair?
Fair. It's FAIRE. When you do a quick search on it, but they're basically they just offer wholesale products, and you can just join as a brand, and it links into Shopify and other things that, other platforms. But actually, when I get a wholesale sale, it just comes through as a Shopify order. It- It's really simple, and it's easy to send inquiries there, and they can set up an account, or oftentimes they already have an account, and that's how they buy products. I've seen it a little bit more for some game shops, but also lifestyle shops. So I've had few more lifestyle orders through that platform, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, that's great. What kind of a wholesale discount are you offering for what kind of volumes?
I'm still playing around with that. I can do small orders. I'm not really too worried about it. I offer 50% of retail pricing. So it's a good margin for them, and they can find better deals. And they'll also, Fair will pay for the shipping for me to ship it, which is nice. It becomes a pure profit thing. I don't really have to subtract that shipping, which can be a pain. And then they have little sales and little holiday sort of thing. So that can eat away at your margin a little bit. But I find it's the simplicity is great, and it just gets more people the product, and we all do pretty well by it.
Yeah, it sounds like a great option. I find little stores like this are not overly profitable, but when you add them all together, they tend to make a difference.
Yeah.
One that I'm using that seems to be working well for me is a company called Public Square. I'm not sure if that would work for you guys if you're ordering everything from China, but as a US manufacturer, that's highlighted, and we're able to sell to the, I don't know, I guess the Trump train would be the sort of groups, but I'm finding that they're ordering in much larger quantities. The brands and stuff that are in there are,
do you have to be made in US to even get lists on their platform?
I believe you're supposed to be US. They asked about sourcing and other things, but it's fairly easy. If you're buying 100% boxed product, it may be difficult, but if you're assembling or anything else here in the US or packaging, it might be enough. But have you guys got any other small sites like that that you find to be of value? This wholesale one looks great. I'm going to sign up for that when we're done.
Yeah, that's the only one I know of. And again, because our products are imported, and there must be more specialty things, but I haven't messed around with that or seen them.
So Walmart is the ugly stepchild of Amazon, but it seems to be stable, profitable, and growing at a nice 30% a month rate. Are you guys using Walmart even though Amazon doesn't look good to you?
I'm not, just because our products are would be considered overpriced, I think, in the Walmart area. It's we're such a specialty product that it's a little hard to go real low margin, and because we sell direct, we can't have a separate pricing for Walmart.
Yeah.
We are a premium product line, so we're not cheap for what we sell, and it still has relatively strong and reasonable sales.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that's good to hear.
Are you also selling on Walmart right now, Bill?
Yeah, I'm selling on Walmart. The company I just switched from with Amazon is actually one of the better Walmart vendors, and that's their mainstay. And they've done really well for me in Walmart. So again, it started out real small and it's supposed to be 25% of what I'm making on Amazon. But with all that's happened with Amazon lately, it's selling better right now than my Amazon store.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
You know, but yeah, I've got eBay and other little ones like that. I just can't figure out. eBay will take off for me for a while, and it'll be one sale after another, then it'll just stops. And I haven't figured that one out for the life of me.
Oh, I feel like eBay is really on the downtrend. eBay is not doing so well. So a lot of sellers jumping ship. So yeah, we have been selling on eBay for many years.
So have you figured out any ways to get that to rock and roll for what it can put out, or is it just a lost cause right now?
Right now, I think it's better for you to focusing on driving traffic to your own website instead.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got my website, I've got eBay. It's just, I've got availability where they want it. It's all priced the same across the board. The only thing eBay does really is they have quantity discounts that are laid out in the UI, and we want to ship volume more so than one product at a time. And with eBay and their setup, people are buying in larger quantities, which is nice.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. My website, the Public Square, eBay, they tend to sell bigger order amounts than the Walmart or Amazon.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I haven't taken up Meta or any of the social media for advertising. What, Mark, you said that's where you're focused. Is that doing well for you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does very well. And I think we're also getting more efficient with our spend, and you can see what you're spending per sale. So it's a really, there's a lot of data you can chew through. And I work with experts, so it does help. That's really how I got the brand started, was through Facebook and doing social media advertising. It's always changing. It's always a little different. Like I said, Instagram now is doing better, but it's especially Instagram now with Reels. It's a TikTok that seems a little bit less hectic and a little better managed. The algorithm isn't maybe as viral, but it's a little bit more steady, and I think it appeals more to people who would want to buy our products. But it is a interesting thing. So I've been creating more Reels lately, a lot more video, and right now Instagram, because they're competing with TikTok, they really emphasize any Reels you put up there. So if you do a Reel ad, it's a lot more powerful than something that you just an image or whatever, any kind of post you might do. So I like it a lot. And it requires a lot of content making, which
Yeah, a lot of content making. Yes.
which is, it depends how you set it up. We play games a lot, so we videotape that and just turn our game nights into basically content creation nights, and it works out. It works out pretty well. And then obviously handing that stuff over to a marketing company that can edit those and test, A/B tests, and all that stuff is really helpful. But creating the content itself is somewhat, I don't know. It's we just built a routine around it.
So the online sellers like Amazon stop you from being able to do really good advertising.
Mm,
Not allowed to talk about benefits or anything about it. On my own
right.
website, our colloidal silver and hydrogen peroxide and a lot of these products are great for flu and cold season. So my ad on my own site is, are you ready for flu season? I can't find a way to share that anywhere. So I've been looking to launch
Mm,
that for the last 6 months, as well as I was going to do a weekly goal of starting with one video a week, starting 6 months ago. So far, I've created zero.
I know that feeling very well, Bill. I know that. I know how that works. It's tough.
If
It really is tough. I've had a number of false starts trying to do that, but as you do a few and you build it into a schedule, it does seem to help. And unfortunately, my my wife probably isn't too happy that the lights are always up in our living room, but it is cool to get friends around and talking about the product and things like that. It's kind of a neat thing. I would say Meta is really good for brand building. I've done some advertising on ESPN, just local ads around Formula One events, and that sort of ties into our product. And I think that was good for brand building at the beginning, but you don't really see the metrics of those. So I feel like the modern lower cost version of that is Meta. They really allow you to get your brand across in a meaningful way rather than just search. You may end up on Amazon and Google getting more sales and more efficiency through search. But in terms of building a brand, I think you can do that pretty well on Meta products.
I've been on social media, so it's not part of my existence. Second is every time I've tried to sign up for Facebook just to do advertising, I usually break their tenants just simply by typing my name into the setup field, and I've yet to be able to create a stable Facebook existence. I've hired somebody at one point to help with that, but I can never log back in. So I'm a hopeless loss. Who's managing your Facebook, Instagram? Are you managing that yourself? Are you a big social media user yourself and understand it? Or have you
I
found
mean, yeah, I understand a little bit, and I've obviously done a little bit of research on how to do it. You're not alone with the problems with Meta login. I so my Facebook account and my Instagram account are linked. I can access my Instagram account, but I can't access my Facebook account right now. And no, there's just no customer support. There's no way to get it back. So really what it would require is starting a new one. And much like you, I get blocked out. And I think it's to do with the identification of the phone number. Somehow Facebook has taken my phone number. I think I would need a new phone number to create a new account there, which I'm not really willing to do. And so the only my marketing team can place ads on Facebook right now, which is really insane. Uh, but that's just the issues with the platform. And I went to the trouble of getting my Instagram account certified, so I pay a monthly fee for that to give it that blue star or whatever, just to protect that account a little bit more. But yeah, there's a lot of quirks, and it's it does make these things really hard to manage on your own because you're going to spend all your time with this kind of
Yeah.
dumb stuff.
Especially with your category build in supplement, it's even harder. There's a lot of like regulation that Meta also trying to enforce. Is they can shut down your entire account just because you include a certain word that they don't like. So definitely work with an expert that is very experienced running supplement ads on the platform before you try to, or at least do a lot of research about it. Otherwise, you can easily get your entire account suspended, especially in the supplement categories.
Yeah, that's the opportunity. And the key concern is it's so hard to do it just on Amazon, and Walmart is actually pretty easy, but Amazon is constantly taking me down as a pesticide.
Oh, yeah.
That's the big thing they do to everybody that sells consumables. Doesn't matter what it is, they're taken down as a pesticide. But
client that sell water toy and you keep on getting flagged as pesticide as well, but it's a water toy. It's like, I don't get it, but it's Amazon do weird stuff like that sometimes.
so Mark, in making content for Instagram and Facebook, do you spread that to TikTok and to YouTube and other places to cross-pollinate, or do you just keep it all in one place?
It's on YouTube as well. And we've made a few little films over the years, like that stuff we did for ESPN. There's full 30-second, 60-second spots that I still have on there. I'm trying to connect all those worlds a little bit better. YouTube, connecting it to Google. And Google's got a new thing with, it's in beta right now, but it's a brand platform, which is really interesting. So you can manage your brand a little bit better, and it's hard to say exactly what it's doing other than the shopping campaigns, but it seems like it's just a brand resource so people can shop your brand, and you can control the images. You can link YouTube. I don't do TikTok. I've put some videos up there. They just don't do, that's a weird algorithm, and I can't stand the platform myself. It's so annoying. It's so trivial, and I don't really feel like that's really my consumer. But again, through this Google brand platform, you can link those videos as well. So, I'm being choiceful in what I want to do, just because there's an infinite amount of stuff you could do if you really wanted to, but it's just what fits your brand well. Like supplements. So I think Instagram would be great because it's going to give you something that is, you can make it look slick and higher end, and you can also easily explain reasons to buy your product. We do quite a bit of that. Hey, 5 reasons why, and it's very easy to capture a little bit more about the product and also elevate your brand a little bit. And so I like that one in general, but I'm on social media, but I fall into the old school camp as well. I find it fascinating because I'm pretty visual. I come from a design background, so I like that. That's maybe the only reason I'm probably on these platforms.
Okay, that's interesting. Design or background? Are you doing images, video, or PowerPoint? What kind of design are you?
Almost anything now. It's especially starting this business. My background is industrial design. I actually trained as a car designer, and my product is a Formula One game. So it's getting my racing passion out there. But now I just do a little bit of everything. Photoshop, Illustrator. I design products, all the graphics of the components, packaging. So it's pretty simple to move on into image creation. I sometimes hire a pro photographer just because they have better cameras, but I like to edit a lot. And now Photoshop's so powerful, the way you can set things up and extend backgrounds and use AI features that really make your life pretty easy. And then I've been with video traditionally, I shoot everything just on the phone. It's not nothing special. Just try to have good lighting. And then I get into, right now, Adobe Premiere is my vehicle of choice because it'll help you format things for whatever platform you're on, whether it's Instagram Reels or YouTube. It just sets everything up right. And you can take one video and then make a version of it for another platform, which is really fun. And I like a little bit of, add a little creativity in there too. It's just an interesting thing. It's just my background's just so different, I think. But when it comes to brand, that's what I did professionally for years in the footwear footwear design and footwear sporting goods industry. It's I'm real conscious of brand, so that's kind of what I focus on quite a bit.
Yeah, probably give you an advantage having that background because everybody's stuff looks like AI now. If not look like AI, then you stand out.
And there's also the thing where AI just in general is becoming a trend, like just that sort of weird glitchiness of it is now is almost celebrated a little bit as like part of the times. And that's a little scary for me too. But yeah, it's nice to be able to create your own stuff. And the AI has some great, I think in terms, I use it for writing. I use it for the stuff that I'm not so good at. And maybe Photoshop where I'm not as adept. But yeah, in terms of creating entire films and images, I think it's horrible, but and it doesn't protect your brand very well. But if you were to do some stuff and then mock it, I think that would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you found a tool that will cross-pollinate your TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube account with your particular video, or are you having to upload each of them individually?
Individually. So my company places the ads. I do organic content for both. And Instagram, I can put, when I post to Instagram, I can actually post to Facebook at the same time. The only problem with that is I can't respond to comments and things like that. I'm much more interactive on Instagram, so I can respond to anyone who has a comment or has a question, which is nice. And they can direct message you too, which is, all these communication forms with the customer are super helpful just in steering your strategy and getting feedback. And even your marketing campaigns, I learned a couple lessons last year, which were really interesting. It's good to have that feedback loop. I send out surveys to customers through email, and I do a few other things where it's responsive, but that's probably the only thing I do. TikTok would be completely separate, and I don't love being on that platform, so I haven't posted in over a year. I tried actually to set up some ads through TikTok, and they were completely ineffective. Like it was such a waste of money. They don't really have that figured out anywhere near where Meta is. So that's just an issue with that platform, at least for me. It probably is on the content more than anything, but if it's not working, I tend not to use it.
Going back to the influencer conversation with your video presence, are you ever working with the influencers to be interviewed and to build that community so that you can circle through them? That was something I was looking at building with an influencer community, is providing content and providing ability to be interviewed.
That's interesting. I haven't done that. That's handled by the marketing company that runs my Meta ads. And they build that into the contract that's like a service they provide, is working with influencers. But I've had a couple good ones that performed okay. But lately these people, These people, you got to really question their motives. They're just looking for free money, and they put hardly any effort into it. And like I say, we have a full guideline document and videos to show them for what they'll be shooting video, and one of the cars will be backwards on the tracks, just like completely ruining any content they created. It's frustrating. I don't feel like I'm paying a ton for it, so it's just a way to get some different, more organic content out there. But I haven't found it super useful. And when we started shooting our game nights, it got a lot better because I was shooting better quality content pretty easily. I'm not in love with influencers, but the one thing that it's good for though is getting a diverse set of people experiencing your products. Like not everybody wants to see 4 old guys playing cards with my game, whereas a couple kids or a group of women that are Formula One fans would be a huge thing if I could ever get it right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you use a Formula One race car driving jumpsuit to brand yourself in these videos, or?
We do a small line of apparel again from my sporting goods days. We do stuff on Printful, which is just made to order stuff. But so I have a lot. So I'm heavily branded when I show up to these things. So it's not quite a race suit, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. I have to jump. I need to go pick up the kids from school. But yeah, it's good to see you both. And thank you so much for attending today's event. Hopefully everyone will have a wonderful Q4 season that's coming up. And I'll talk to everyone soon.
Thanks, Jason. Really appreciate it. It was fun to chat.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you. Bye.
Nice to meet you, Bill. Take care.
Nice meeting you, Mark.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.